I've got the 23Zero Ramblers Den set up behind me underneath my four-wheel drive awning. It's an awesome addition to your four-wheel drive awning for extra living space, and I'm going to take you for a walkthrough. Let's check it out.
Hit it.
G'day folks, it's Ben from Snowy's here today at the Brownhill Creek Tourist Park, and this setup behind me here is the 23Zero Ramblers Den. This is an addition to a four-wheel drive awning. So this across the top here is my four-wheel drive awning that's attached to my vehicle, and underneath that and on the end of that is the Ramblers Den, which consists of this room. It's an enclosed room on the back here and walls on the side. There's no floor in this shelter, but it does provide a reasonably weatherproof shelter or addition to your four-wheel drive awning. Now the kit comes in two different bags, the walls in one, the den in the other, and they both measure about 80 centimeters in length and about 15 to 20 centimeters in diameter. And together they weigh a little bit over 10 kilos. Now the fabric it's made of is 150 denier ripstop polyoxford or polyester. It's got a 3000 millimeter waterhead. It's the same fabric in the walls and right throughout the tent, but it's not a completely waterproof shelter. So these seams are seam sealed on the inside, but you can see there are gaps along the top of the wall here between the awning and the wall. And the zips on these windows here are exposed, although they do have a bit of a flap inside. So it is going to provide some protection in a light shower, but it's not designed as a shelter for really stormy or wet weather. It's more of an outback use, I suppose, where you're going to get a shower, it's going to move on, and weather's dry again. Now we'll start with the features on the outside. Firstly, on a bigger scale, this wall, this panel here is a wall. Now we don't have to set this up. It actually attaches to the room on the back here with a zipper down here, so we could actually remove this entire section if we like, same on the other side, and create a complete walk-through space. Alternatively, with this wall attached, we can open the doors on here. There are both solid and mesh doors on each wall. Now there's no floor in the shelter, so this doesn't provide a seal protection on the bottom here, but there is this little storm flap, so when we've got this mesh door closed, it still gives us reasonable protection from the bugs. If we open this up completely, we can roll these doors back against the side of the wall here, and that gives us a pretty good access way through in underneath the awning there and access to the rear room there as well. But before we jump in and look at that, we'll keep moving around the outside. Moving on to the actual room with a little den bit at the back here, there are two triangular doors here. These can be zipped open and rolled open like this. That just reveals a mesh panel there, so plenty of ventilation to get inside the tent. By the time we open this one up down here as well, we've almost created a completely open side. So the tent, if we come around to the rear of the tent here, we've got one big window here that can be set up in one of three ways. Firstly, zipped closed like this. It's a little Velcro tab on the bottom here to keep that protected from wind and a bit of light rain. If it's wind-driven rain, there's not a big flap here to stop water getting up and potentially in through the mesh here, but light rain's going to be fine. Secondly, if we undo the first zip on each side here, it reveals, I've just got to undo to the bottom zip up there. We can peg this out as a gusseted awning over the top of the window to allow ventilation whilst keeping the rain out. And the third option is to unzip these gussets as well and roll the window up completely so that we allow more ventilation inside the shelter. Peg this up, or pin this up, sorry, with the tabs at the top here. And we've now got ventilation almost right across the back of the shelter here, as well as through those windows on the side. So it's creating a nice airy space. And coming around to the other side of the shelter here, we've got the same deal as we saw on the opposite side. The two triangular windows here for ventilation. We've got them zipped closed at the moment. And then we've got another wall, which is a mirror of what we saw on the other side there. So gap across the top, zipped to the shelter at the back here so we can remove it completely. Or alternatively, we've got double doors here for access in underneath the awning. We're now going to step inside. Now as we step inside under the awning section here, so this fabric above me here is my four-wheel drive awning that's attached to my car. Now this is a 2.5 by 2.5 meter awning, so that den fits any awning that is 2.5 meters wide with a sail track. But if we want to use the walls as well, we need an awning that comes 2.5 meters out from the car as well. Otherwise, these are going to be a little bit short. You could probably still use them. You're just going to have extra fabric bunched up on the side there. You can see across the top of the wall here, we do have this gap, so it doesn't provide that full weatherproof seal inside or under the shelter here, but it's still going to provide a little bit of rain protection and certainly a lot of wind and sun protection. With regards to height, it's depicted a little bit on the height of your actual awning or where it's attached to the car, but these walls are about 1.9 meters high down to where the mud flap starts to creep out away from the shelter. And the den itself on this side here is about 1.9 meters at its highest to allow for these flaps to sit out against the ground there. So I'm 185 centimeters. I've got a good amount of space in here to walk, and I can almost walk through this door without ducking. And talking of this door, this is the entrance to our little den at the rear here. This is also a double door. So we've got a solid panel here that we can roll back and secure on the side here if we like. And then we've got a mesh panel as well. And you'll notice too, in this den here, that there's no floor. We'd probably want to put a ground sheet or something down in here if we want any ground cover, so the floor to ground doesn't actually have a seal in it. And coming into this space here, as I mentioned, it's 190 centimeters to the top, about 185 to the door here, and that's dependent on how high we've actually got the awning set up here. And the roof slopes away pretty much immediately as we step in, so I don't have a lot of standing space inside the tent here. But in terms of floor space, we've got 250 centimeters from wall to wall this way, and it's about 160 centimeters from this central wall here to where this roughly meets the ground at the back here. Now, it's not a lot of usable space in terms of how we might put a stretcher or something in here because of that slope, but certainly lots of storage, and you can certainly fit one stretcher in here. Before I do that, I'll just talk about other features. You've got one little storage pocket, mesh storage pocket, just hanging at the back on the bottom of the window here. You can see the windows on each side here. They're zipped closed on this side here, and we've got them opened up on the other side there. And you can also see just the two poles that are needed for setup of this tent inside, just a couple of steel poles to keep this head height, or gives a little bit more room inside here. I'm going to grab the stretcher, which is a king single stretcher, put it in here and show you how you might be able to use the space to sleep in. Okay, now this stretcher is about 210 centimeters in length and about 80 centimeters in width. So it's a good space, or sleeping space, for one in here. I can't push it too far back because this wall slopes back and you're going to be sleeping up against the wall here. So it's probably best just forward a little bit in the shelter here. Then you've got storage space for bags and things down the back there as well. And you've got a little bit of room at each end. But on top of that, if you need space for changing clothes or anything, obviously you've got that shelter up underneath your awning here. That's pretty much all the features of the 23Zero Ramblers Den, an awesome addition for your 2.5 by 2.5 meter four-wheel drive awning. Easy to set up and reasonably lightweight for the amount of extra space you get. You can grab them online at snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. If you like that video, subscribe to our channel. We'll send you all of our latest and greatest information. Check out some other 23Zero products like this one down here. And if you've got any questions, let us know down in the comments below.